Welcome back to the ABC of EDC with me, Rick Flat, your host through everything, Everyday Carry. I hope you're right. I hope your new year is continuing a storm. Thank you if you're one of the people that have recently subscribed. I love it. The numbers are going up each day. I love it, love it, love it. But the truth of it is, I've been looking at the analytics. Analytics, they're not ants. There are no ants gathering information. Analytics. And many of you that are watching simply aren't subscribed. And I understand that. We're all busy. We've got stuff to do. I'm a busy person. I ain't got time to subscribe to everyone. But the channels I do love, I do subscribe to because it helps the creators know what's going on, helps YouTube recognize it. At some point, maybe give man a little bit of money for doing a little something. You know what I mean? So, if you can take a moment to like, subscribe, press the little bell icon, select all. That way you'll get all this stuff. Videos come out Tuesday evening between 5 and 6 p.m. thereabouts, and we shorts and some other stuff that just comes and goes, behind the scenes stuff, blah blah blah. All that's over with. So we are gathered here today to remember an event from a short while ago within the kind of watch world, where a brand known for creating cheap, some would say toy-ish, very durable, very achievable for everyone, kind of plasticky, sort of toyish watches really, created a watch with the appearance and shape from a vastly more luxurious and high-end brand. And this led to chaos. It led to this very cheap watch that should really be achievable for anyone suddenly being unachievable to most people and going on eBay and watch sites and kind of reseller sites for like massive increase in percentage wise of what it was worth. Just a massive price hike at what people were reselling this for. So I'm speaking about none other than the G-Shock Casio. What did you expect? Like another watch? Did you expect the Moonswatch? I'm only joking. We're here to talk about the Moonswatch, but I thought it was interesting. I've got a Casio. I've got this one here, man. It's kind of green one with a black bezel. My friend gave me this one because he's got the black one. He's got the murdered out, the Batman one that everyone had a couple of years ago. And I want to show you this because there are some similarities. We're going to do a separate video on the similarities between it, so I won't go into it too much. But just to say, similar approach, similar kind of market hype and madness surrounded the Casio release as surrounded the Moonswatch release just a short while ago. So we're going to flip the camera and we're going to get involved in all the stats and specs, my opinion, some beautiful little macro situations and stuff. And I'm going to give you my kind of take on this watch and all the hullabaloo around it. So let's switch around and let's get straight into it and enjoy. So here we have it. This is a Moonswatch. This is a compilation, as I'm sure many of you know, but if you don't, between Omega and Swatch. Swatch being the, I guess you would say, less luxury brand, but actually the brand that is larger and owns Omega and many other watch brands and part makers, etc., in the watch market. So, like I say, mission to Mercury. Box is interesting, actually. We should probably talk a bit more about this box than normal because they've put a little bit more thought into it. And this is going to come across a lot in this review, that this Moonswatch, this whole situation, is either a stroke of genius or madness when it comes to branding and marketing. Teddy Baldassar went into greater detail. I'll link a video to his up here. Actually, you check him out. As regards to the search bump, the media marketing bump they got through the whole situation when Moonswatches come out. In case you weren't around, quick thing. This was released, very anticipated. People thought they could just roll up to a Swatch boutique and grab one of these, and they were met with queues of thousands of people, and there was ructions and violence. I heard someone killed a man with a trident. That's yet to be confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that happened. There was a stampede of bulls, an explosion, and someone drove an ice rink cleaning machine through the crowd. So crazy stuff went on, and basically there was a serious lack of these, demand massively outstripped supply, and that led to a large bump. Anyway, let's talk about this. So we have the Omega Swatch Moonwatch situation going on here. On the front you have all the different models, each one, and you'll see this when we get into it, that each of the battery compartments on this quartz watch actually has each planet detailed on it. A little bit of branding here on the side, very simple, the Omega logo and the Swatch logo, just telling you what's going on, and that is a copy of what is on the crown of the actual watch. A few things here, one day, little stat for you in case you want some stats on Mercury. One day on Mercury lasts 59 days on Earth. Thanks a lot for that. A whole bunch of stuff on the edge here, tells you the temperature, magnetic fields, how close it is to the sun, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. Yeah, that's it really. Mission to Mars. It says, this is interesting actually, a little bit of branding here. It says bioceramic Moonswatch. Bioceramic. I don't know exactly how we'll put that to test, but we will a little bit. So you just begin to slide this out of here. I'm trying not to crease the box because the packaging might be worth some money in years to come. Who knows? So you just squeeze this out of here like so. Give it a pushty. A little bit of a... Oh, God, I'm not doing a very good job here. For a channel that does unboxing, a little bit difficult. Anyway, boom. You take the sleeve off there. We'll just put that to one side for the moment. And you're met with a very simple box. A standard fare, if you like. There it is. Here is the Moonswatch. Mission to Mercury, this particular model. As I say, there are loads of models. I'll throw some clips and stuff in here, cutaways of all the different models you can get, depending on colour, your preference. Each one of the Moonswatch collection has different elements taken from different Omegas that have been produced over the years. Now, I should say straight out of the gate that it isn't on the supplied strap. The supplied strap is a really, really terrible two-piece strap. Very simple, one lug, another lug, and this just loops round and through and is the most bulky, uncomfortable, cheap-ass, shortcut, low-fi, low-tech, weak sauce, janky bullshit strap I've ever seen. It's just the worst. It's the worst strap in the world. If I saw this on a kid's watch, I would dash it away. So shame on Omega and Swatch. First things first, we'll put that just to the side for the moment. So it is currently on this NATO strap, which suits it much better. Yeah, it hasn't got any branding on it from Omega or from Swatch, but yeah, it's in there. And I should just one more thing before we move on to the actual watch. This watch, although it's kind of cool, couldn't be cheaper. Could not be cheaper if they tried. Little booklet here telling you about the collection, and here you go, there you go. It reveals all the different colors that you can get, all the different swatches, gives you a little bit of insight into each of the models and all that jazz, but we're not really interested in that. We'll throw that aside. And then rest of that standard fare, guarantees, operating instructions, blah 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 blah. Like I say, cheap, chintzy, yeah. So here we are, the watch, and like I say, it's currently on a NATO because it suits it better, and because that watch is so janky, so that we got rid of that and just put it straight on this NATO, and it actually wears much better. It looks better. I've also got, where is it? I've also got like an olive NATO that this goes on, is quite nice. I've also got just a plain black NATO that it could go on. There are a few different ways that you could strap this thing up depending on your preference to make it look just better than it was. So let's talk about the actual watch. Let me grab my digital calipers. It's always best to get this bit right, you know what I mean? So let's do first the basic case diameter. Let's try and get this right. I reckon there's about good. We're looking at 41, nearly 42, right? You know what I mean? And then let me just move the NATO ever so slightly. Actually, I can take it off the strap because there's something I do want to show you, something that I think is pretty cool on all of these models. Let's just take that off. Let's just measure the, there you go, try not to scratch the crystal there. There you go, 13.2 thick. Lugs of 20, I believe, I'm pretty sure, because all these NATOs are 20, yeah. So lugs of 20, you know, give or take my bad measuring. Now, the first thing I'd say about this watch, she's light. Now I'm going to find the weight for you, and I'll insert it here, but I can't currently remember off the top of my head. And she is just kids frisbee, kids toy, Fisher Price watch kind of light. There's just nothing to it. If it was slightly different shape and it could catch the wind, it would blow away for sure. How does it feel? It feels all right. It feels well made, but it feels like it's been made out of balsa wood, if you know what it is. Very light, like a nothingness, you know. One of the things I do like, I love this detail on the back here. As I say, the battery compartment of each watch, as it shows you on the case here, corresponds to the model of watch and the planet that each one represents. So there you go. Just a nice little detail. I didn't have to add. I hear actually that one model in particular, the blue watch, which I'm guessing is either the mission to Uranus, such a child, or the mission to Neptune or something. But the one that's very blue, I hear that there's reports of, as people have worn it on their wrist and they've taken it off at the end of a day, and maybe they sweated and there's a blue mark there. I don't know how true that is. Some people have done it, some people have not. And that you'd get that on this here single just strap. But the beauty of having it on the NATO also is there's no chance, less chance I would say, yeah, pretty much no chance because it's not touching your skin, of any transfer of the print from that battery window compartment thing onto your wrist. And so as far as, you know, it looks better, but also it's a little bit kind of like you're going to stay a little bit cleaner, which is nice. Looks good on the NATO though, right? Looks good on it. As you look closer at this watch, this is just classic Omega Speedmaster. So yeah, this is the Moonswatch, but it might as well have been called the Swatchmaster. Do you know what I mean? Because this is Speedmaster, right? And it's those standard fare Speedmaster situation, right? Those 3 registers of the chronograph, that tachometer around the outside, the white hands. Obviously, on different models, things do adjust slightly depending on which element from the history and the lineup of Omega that they're representing. But basically, it's pretty standard fare. And this one in particular is maybe one of the least leery. Obviously, you get the yellow one, but it's classic fare. If you know the Speedmaster, you know this. Click the chronograph, watch it start going. Now this bad boy is quartz. There's no auto here. There's no solar here. There's no manual wind. This is a very cheap, but quartz is very efficient, very accurate. So in that regard, yeah, good movement to put in it, but not very flashy. Just very, very simple, very, very just a little workhorse, really. Do you know what I mean? Not going to cause you any trouble. You can get to that battery department easy. You haven't got to unscrew the back of this watch or nothing. It's simple pimple. Very. What can I say about this watch? Is it underwhelming? It's not underwhelming because, but only in that what it represents it is good. So it represents the Speedmaster. Now the Speedmaster is an awesome watch. You could say it's Omega's Submariner, right? Rolex have got the Subby. Everyone knows it. Just classic sports watch. For Omega, they got this. They got the Speedmaster in various forms and sizes. It's been your go-to Omega sports watch for donkey's years. Yeah, I know you have a Seamaster too, awesome watch as well, but Speedmaster's got that kind of reputation, right? So this watch, because it so accurately depicts the Speedmaster, yeah, it's gorgeous, it's great, it's wonderful. I like it a lot. It's been a joy. Wearing this has been a joy, but it always makes me think of that other watch. It doesn't make me think of this watch. I only appreciate in regard to its connection to that, not really for what it is. And this bioceramic thing, I got to tell you, man, I'm not going to go out of my way to scratch this thing up or nothing, but it's plastic, right? Can we just be honest? It's plastic. You call it bioceramic. All right, bruv, whatever. It's plastic. I'm sure this thing was going to scratch up and buff up over the life of wearing it, just like any other plastic watch I've got. This crystal on here is not ceramic. It's not coated. That thing is going to mark up, I would say, quite severely over time. One good thing about it being cheap like that, though, you can poly watch it. So you get a little tube of poly watch. As this thing scratches up, gets that natural kind of glass patina situation going on. If you don't like that, you just grab a bit of poly watch and you are away. You're going to have a lovely, clean mineral glass again. It's nice. You got unmarked pushers for the operation of the chronograph, which is a nice chronograph. I've always liked a chronograph that flows back instead of popping back. You know, some just pop back to 12. I like the ones that flow and all the registers flow. It gives you a little bit of fun whenever you operate it. But yeah, unmarked pushers, but a marked crown again, and what's on the crown is what's on the box. So it's just this situation repeated on the crown. On the whole, very wearable because of its lightness, very likable because of the fun nature of it being a plastic version of a luxury shaped watch, if you know what I'm saying. But like I said in the intro, just like the Casio, this resembles something, speaks to something, has a nod to something, and probably more because of the Swatch's connection to Omega. It nods to something, but it ain't that thing. And it can never be that thing. And in some ways, it's not trying to be that thing. But I have to look at this material to material, right? I have to look at the movement, the case, the shape, the size, how durable it is, how accurate and all that, and compare it like for like. And I have to say that for these materials and what you get, this is a very expensive plastic quartz watch. But if you look at it a different way, and this is where marketing and their take on it goes. If you look at it from the point of view of, like everyone has said, and I don't want to repeat myself ad nauseum here, you know what I mean? But like, just be an echo chamber what everyone says. But as an example of a Swiss-made watch that legitimately can claim to have a connection and be part Omega, part Swatch, then it's a bit of a bargain, right? Then you go for it. But actually, now some of the fuss has gone off around this. I imagine in years to come, people will have these. And it'll just be a whatever watch. I don't think anyone's going to go out of the way. I don't think anyone's going to go, ooh, in a few years. I think they'll go, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that. That was Swatch's little dalliance in a little nod messing with Omega, trying to borrow some of their shine. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a tricky one. It's hard to know how exactly over time things will work out for this little watch. For me, it's a fun watch to wear. It has that nod to a greater watch, but there isn't anyone on earth who, if someone put down a Speedmaster here, no matter what condition and state and age and all that, and one of these, that wouldn't go for the Omega. And I know that. And we know that. So do you want to take your 200 plus quid and stick it in this? Or do you want to save that? Do you want to try and get to $1,000, to get to 1,500 quid or $2,000, or what? Do you want to add what this might cost you, and just add that to saving money to get a legit Swiss-made, real luxury timepiece from Omega, or from Tissot, or from someone else? That's the trouble this thing's got. Now the hype's gone. Now we know it's just a very cheap toy watch from Swatch with a little bit of Omega sort of doused on the top, like the Salt Bay guy, you know what I mean? Just like a little bit sprinkled on top. Do we want to bother with that? I don't know, man. But it's been fun. I'm glad that there's one here in my hand I can play with. And we'll see how the market goes for these things as time passes. Anyway, laters.